Hi friends, welcome back. And today I have a problem that I would like to discuss with you. I have a question for you, in fact. How the hell do you store all of these damn games? Let's explore this together in the sacred art of gaming. Let's go. Okay, so there are some very obvious questions to ask, right? Number one, why would you even feel the need to have physical books, right? Digital is a very excellent option, but I got to be honest with you. I'm kind of getting sick of PDFs, and maybe it's the way that I access them. Maybe if I access them more on like an iPad or something, or a Kindle, maybe it would feel a little bit more book-like. But I'm sick of it. You know what I'm also sick of? Not describing who I am or doing any type of intro at all. My apologies. I am Sacred with the Sacred Art of Gaming, where we like to discuss tabletop gaming and all of the wonderful things that come with it. So right back to the question. Sorry, this has been bothering me for days, weeks even. And a big part of that, which I might talk about this even more in another video, Broken Empires. I kind of like the idea of it, but I don't know if it is also pricey, and also it's another book on the shelf. So I'm trying to be a little bit more picky about the books on the shelf. But man, gaming almost is starting to feel like it's not gaming if I don't have the book. Let's talk more about why I'm even converting to physical books. And I'd like to know how you feel about physical books versus digital. There was definitely a time where I was very well-versed and enjoying things like Roll20 and various other ways to play digitally, or just using the PDF, right? And I would even have fun with making up these cool tables and stuff. I remember I had a 50 Fathoms game where the treasure is kind of interesting, the way you get treasure in 50 Fathoms, which is a Savage Worlds game. And you know, if you have a certain type of treasure, this is the type of thing that you can roll on. And I had this really cool like script basically that they could use in Roll20, and I had a lot of fun building it, and I had a lot of fun with them getting results. It was kind of not really that complicated, but yeah, it was a lot of fun, and that's a fun automation piece that you get out of something like that. There definitely is a level of efficiency. A lot of these things, they'll even tell you like what your roll is, and they'll do the math, and they'll calculate everything for you. But I'm getting kind of sick of it. I'm reverting back, and maybe because there's so much is just in my face with AI and everything being digital now, I'm kind of thinking, like many others, man, I wanna hold the book. Give me a book to hold. Just came in. Ugh. I wanna hold this book. I'll be honest with you, when I played Ironsworn, I 100% played it digitally using, I don't know, one of the many tools, Iron something, that were available. Companion, I think, Ironsworn Companion. And honestly, like, I didn't really understand. Solo was like very strange to me, and that made it doable. All the moves were right there. Everything was calculated pretty easily. All the, it would even tell you like, okay, you roll and this is the results and stuff. But I am in love with the idea, now that I'm a little bit more familiar. Here's Sundered Isles. I'm in love with the idea of sitting down with this book by the window, and maybe I need the oracles too, with just like a dice tray and the book, and just rolling some shit up and having a fun time. You know what? I'm starting to think that it's similar to when people enjoy reading a book. The people that want to sit down physically with a book, like my wife which is another storage issue. All of the stories that you can find on the Lifetime Movie Network, she needs the book version of that. And it's a problem. It's a problem because more come in than go out. More storage issues. So you kind of have two different stressors to deal with. You have the screen and technology stress on one hand, and you're missing something that just feels so personal when you have the book and it's just you and your imagination. I am kind of loving that idea, even though it's less efficient. I have to pull out like the asset cards and stuff. It's not automating everything for me. But you know what? I have video games for that. I love video games, and that's just a different experience. This, I think I want to be on the complete other side of gaming. For me personally, something that's just more manual, and I want to be able to feel it. Those are my thoughts. But the other stressor that you have to deal with when you start getting things physically is the storage, and then also the price of the books, right? So now it's a whole nother problem to deal with. And then you have to start picking and choosing. So my question for you, if it has not been clear, how the hell do you do it? How do you decide what to purchase into your library and what to not purchase, or what to only have digitally? I'm a sucker for Bundle of Hoarding and Humble Bumble and whatever the hell, Humble Bundle, where you get these bundles of PDFs and stuff for super cheap. I like to use that as a primer to, like, maybe I discover something that I actually love, and then once I discover I love it, then I must physically attain that book. So, I'm getting all riled up just thinking about it. So, I think something like Pirate Borg and Mork Borg, that... I talked away from the camera again. Pirate Borg and Mork Borg, those are examples of games that do make it easy, right? Because the book is just so beautiful with the art. Like, if I never play, like, an amazing campaign of Pirate Borg, that will honestly kind of be okay. Because I just love that book. And I can easily read it at any point. I dig it. But there are other games, like, let's say, Blades in the Dark. I almost said Band of Blades. This is also a very good book that I think is just kind of like enjoyable to read. But did I need to buy this book? That's a good question. I do enjoy this book, but whenever I played it on Roll20. So, and I bought assets on Roll20. So was that a waste? Am I just collecting books to collect them? And is that a waste? What do you think? I'm sure I'm not alone with this problem. So, yeah, I mean, am I literally just buying these books so that I can sit by the window and look at these books, or is it going to be for use? It depends. It depends, right? And then you also have to deal with the prices. So in the case of Broken Empires, getting the book is quite pricey, and then you also have to have it shipped. Still, that's a good amount of money at that point. And then there's the PDF, which is also kind of pricey in my opinion, but PDFs generally are going to be cheaper. At a minimum, you're not paying for shipping. And a lot of times you can get good deals on the PDFs too. And then you kind of, it's a lot easier to store those, obviously, even if your computer can't handle it right. You can get like an external hard drive and store that fairly easily, put it up in Google Drive, whatever you want to do. So then that also has me thinking, like, why am I continuing to buy? Like, I never had a thought 5 years ago where I was like, man, all of the things from Broken Empires are things that I need in a game, things that I've always wanted. So there's that like FOMO, fear of missing out on the new hotness, right? Which is, not, I'm picking on Broken Empires a little bit just because that's what's been the forefront of my mind. But it doesn't have to be that. It could be anything. Could, Shadow Dark, Crown and Skull. There's been a lot of these Easy D6 where they just felt like the new hotness, and you want to resist it or not. It feels good to give in, to be honest with you. It feels really good. But if you give up, or don't give up. If you give in to every single one of those, now you've got every single book physically. And then do you even need all those books? I promise you, you don't have time for every single one of those books. There's no way. It's just like even the books that I have currently, I don't know if there's enough time in my lifetime to play the books I already have. So what am I doing? What am I doing? What are you doing? How are you combating this? Am I out of touch with reality? Am I just I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below, because I am very curious. So something that I've subconsciously done to minimize this, and I guess I kind of do this with everything, so it kind of was my default for this, is I have to justify the purchase, right? I have to justify the purchase in some way, and sometimes I'm wrong and sometimes I'm right. But something like, based on my experiences with Ironsworn, Sundered Isles, and then also getting Starforged with that, I justified the purchase because I knew even if I was not able to get a group together, I could have that solo experience, and I wanted it physically to have that like special solo experience where I've got the book there, I'm rolling some dice, and I'm writing some shit down, and I'm using my imagination, and it feels good to use my imagination because I'm getting older, and I don't want to be an old grumpy grump with no imagination. That would suck. So you gotta keep flexing that muscle. If you don't use it, you lose it. That's what I hear. And a lot of games, like some of them have a story, right? So I backed this was crazy of me. I backed Rise of the Runelords. I haven't even started that story in any way. I don't know if that story will ever be started in any way. But when I complete that story, I have completed it. And we're talking about tabletop role-playing games, so it doesn't necessarily have to be the same thing every time. Of course, right? That's the benefit of this versus a video game. But there's also books that are like toolkits. And I tend to really enjoy games that have a toolkit aspect to them. Whether it is something to the degree of like the oracles that you get with Sundered Isles, or if it's something like Index Card RPG, where like just the setting, and which I mean I guess is true of this too, but lots of tables and stuff and tools and GM tips that you can use that's beyond just that book. So the benefits outweigh just using it for that specific game. I'm gaining some knowledge and I can build upon that for other games. Even if let's say I'm playing Shadow Dark, I'm willing to bet that the GM section in Index Card RPG will help me with that, because that GM section is excellent. So, how does one decide? How do you give the gladiator decision of what gets physically purchased and what does not? It's tough. It's real tough. And then the last thing I want to talk about, which is kind of tied into the whole FOMO thing, which is your collection ever really complete? Because there was a point where I was like, yeah, Savage Worlds, I can do anything I could ever want with Savage Worlds. And maybe I'll get a book here and there for Savage Worlds, but realistically, you could probably just get the companions and be good for life. And I don't necessarily think that's not true. But inevitably, for me, I am too curious and I like too much variety. Eventually I had to break out of that and just play with other stuff, even if there was overlap. The overlap was inevitable because Savage World is universal. So things like Blades in the Dark. Would I have been able to play the exact same experience in Savage Worlds that Blades in the Dark delivers? I would say no. There could be an argument for yes, but I would say no because, sure, you can do dramatic tasks and chases and stuff like that, But there are aspects of Blades in the Dark, because it is so specific, and other games that are also so specific to the system and the setting, and when it's just so intertwined, there are benefits to be had there. Whereas something that is more universal, or if it's kind of trying to do too many things, it's going to be watered down, inevitably. And the more specific it is, you're going to get a very unique experience there. So yeah, is your collection ever truly complete? What do you do with the books you haven't touched? What do you do with the books that you want, but you don't know if you need? It's just, man, first world problems, am I right? It's, I don't know. It's been bothering me a little bit, because there are aspects of Broken Empires that I like, and other games too. Shadow Dark, I did not back Shadow Dark. I still, to this day, don't own Shadow Dark. That's kind of insane to me. I like the idea of Shadow Dark. I have like the player's guide or whatever the hell it is, but have I purchased it yet? No, I have not. The new hotness, I have not obtained it, because I look at what I have and I'm like, I haven't used what I have. How am I going to have time for this? But everybody else won't shut up about it. And I look at the tables and I'm like, those tables look excellent. So, that is my question for you. How do you determine what books you physically obtain, and which ones do you not buy at all, or just keep them in PDF? Do you have any bias towards physical or PDF? I want to know. Let's talk about it in the comments. I'm very curious. Maybe my issues can help resolve your issues, and we can kind of we can build off each other and then develop new problems. So, this has been Sacred with the Sacred Art of Gaming. If you found any of this helpful, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, do all the fun YouTube things so we can continue to grow here, reach more people, share it out, do whatever you gotta do. It has been a delight asking you this question today, and until next time, Sacred out. Blades in the Dark. I think next I may have to address my board game issues, because I have not touched board games in quite some time. I need to revisit this. Blades in the Dark. Just pulling it out just made me... the leech, the lurk, the slide. Like, there's just no time for all this. The spider. Yeah. I did start a solo play of this at one point, and I need to continue it. Oh, you're still here. Why?